Hey everybody, 5869 here, and today's the first episode of what I hope to be a pretty reoccurring series, my NEL casts. So I'm really excited for this. I actually really enjoy watching NEL. Nothing like a good bit of North American Dota to kind of set you on your ways. It's always a ton of fun to watch. These are the guys that just kind of draft whatever. You can really look for some fun games here, and I've got quite a nice one. I've got Brax 1437, ixMike, probably the three most well-known names. JaH, JJ, those guys as well. You'll probably see around in some stacks. I think Owie stacks with JaH. But a lot of good players definitely in here. This is definitely some of the top tier NEL players. And I'm really excited for this one. We'll just get right into the bans. We already see both Troll and Sniper being banned out. Both heroes usually don't really stick around too often. I think, especially the Sniper, a lot of teams are having trouble dealing with the Snipers. So see that one out pretty often. I imagine we'll probably still see, we've still got Axe left in the pool. Um, as well as we've still got, yeah, look at that, the line's going to go out as well. So the line, even Venge is still a tier 1 hero, Storm Spirit, Shadow Fiend, we could see these heroes getting banned out. It really kind of depends on who they want to take out right now. I think any of those heroes could really be top tier. So we'll just kind of have to see with whoever Brax looks like he wants to take out. Looks like he'll be drafting for the Radiant, who's going to be taking Champions of Summoner's Rift. So we'll see. He's going to ban out right here. Actually, really dipping into this first ban, and he's going to actually take out a Bristleback. And we've seen Bristle quite often here in NEL. A lot of the North Americans really like this hero, and Brax just really doesn't want to play against it. He's going to take it out right away here, and we'll see what Dire wants to pick up. They've still got a Bat Rider, still a very strong pick. Shadow Fiend, as well as a Storm Spirit. That's really popular in North America, thanks to Sumail over there at DAC. We still have an Earthshaker in the pool as well, so just so many heroes open to this pick right now, and we'll see. Even with ixMike on the team, we could perhaps see a Spirit Breaker. That's a favorite of ixMike's, playing the offlane Spirit Breaker. And Vengeful Spirit, for those of you who maybe don't watch NEL very often, Venge is actually a top tier pick, even outside of NEL, but she's getting picked up quite a bit. First pick, the swap, the stun, the bonus damage, the minus armor, just all very strong abilities. And Axe is going to be the pickup for Brax here, and definitely a good choice as well. And Shadow Fiend. So both Axe and Shadow Fiend going to be a lot of good team fight there. Blink in, call from Axe. Shadow Fiend can follow up with his ultimate here, and we'll see if he's going to be looking, whoever's going to pick up the Shadow Fiend, if they're going to be building into the Yule Scepter, most common build we see. Not too much deviation. Sometimes we see the Mech Shadow Fiend. Usually if he's picked up in conjunction with a Chen, so we'll see if anybody over here on Summoner's Rift wants to pick up the Chen, but Dire, still a lot of heroes left for them as well. We've still got the Earthshaker, so Venge Earthshaker combo, very powerful, as well as we could perhaps still see the Bat Rider. Not too many people picking up the Bat Rider. Seems like it's kind of off map for everybody, but just Bat Rider, still such a fantastic hero, especially later on in the game at picking heroes and taking them out of whatever position they're comfortable in, and we'll see what Dire's going to look to pick here. Maybe a little bit of Wombo combo. Just get something absolutely silly like a Luna, get all that bonus damage, maybe even a Drow. But usually you wouldn't pick up a Drow unless you've got the Drow Visage 2 picks in a row. Nevertheless, we'll see what the Stay Free stack. Yeah, there's the Bat Rider. So Bat Rider's still a fantastic pick, I think, in pretty much every meta recently. The last few for sure, he's been a strong contender, and he's going to have a pretty good time off lane, I'd imagine. No matter who he's up against here, he can always move into the jungle easily, and in terms of bans, we'll have to see kind of what they're going to want to get rid of this Radiant. They've got the mid as well as the offlane here, so probably the Earthshaker, maybe even the Wisp, both going to be taken out here, as Earthshaker's still a really common support that we see, especially in NEL. Even outside of NEL, Slark's going to be taken out as well. We do see that sometimes. Usually he's getting banned out here, and not too bad of an idea here, as he can usually just easily Dark Pack the Bat Rider. Juggernaut, pretty consistent. He's kind of moved down a little bit to tier 2. He's kind of just recently been bumped down to a tier 2 hero. Still a good pick, but I think Sniper's really taken his position, and there's really only room for Sniper and Troll at the top in terms of carries, and both of them have just been getting picked and banned so often right now, and we'll have to see the second ban for the Dire. Still, Earthshaker left in the pool would still be a fantastic support. They could opt for something like a Skywrath as well. We'll see, maybe even a Nyx Assassin here wouldn't be too bad of a ban, just to help prevent that Bat Rider from getting, Carapace stunned up or something like that. But with the Venge on the same team as the Bat Rider, they've already removed that option of the swap after Batrider uses Lasso, so they know they don't really have too hard of a counter against this Batrider just yet. They do have the Blink Call, so they could always Blink Call the Batrider after Lasso, but we'll have to see what their answer is really going to be here, as Dire really dipping into their extra time here for this last ban, as they know they're still going to leave quite a few good heroes open. And there's the Earthshaker ban. So, like I said, Earthshaker still a fantastic support. Moved into tier 1. Zeus going to be taken out, and a Dazzle going to be picked up by Summoner's Rift. So, Dazzle, a fairly strong hero. I believe he's somewhere around tier 2. Gets picked up quite often, both in North American Dota as well as in international Dota. A lot of teams have been favoring the Dazzle. The Shallow Grave is just so strong, as well as the Weave. It's really difficult. Once you have Weave, you don't know if you want to engage. You've got all that negative armor, and with the Shadow Fiend, that's going to be a lot of wombo. The negative armor from the presence of the Dark Lord, and even the bonus armor on the axe from the Call, as well as the Dazzle. Just going to be so difficult to deal with that axe too. If you can give him the Shallow Grave, even just a couple more extra spins, there's just so much bonus damage simply from one ability here. And Dazzle, not the best roaming support. He's got a fairly good heal in his nuke. We'll see if maybe they want to go the Shadow Demon Dazzle Axe. We actually see that. We've seen that before, I believe, a long time ago. Like, I want to say Bottom ran it against Mouse, or the other way around, and they absolutely demolished them with the axe, the Dazzle. And look at that, Witch Doctor going to be picked up for the Dire, and Quap going to be the return pick from the Radiant here. And we actually see Quap fairly often as well now in North American Dota, especially in the NEL. A lot of players really favoring this Quap. We'll see if Lena's still in the pool, so Dire could pick up a Lena. And we do see both heroes kind of in the mid lane. Quap kind of dominates the lane a little bit more, but Lena still a good pick and an open pick here. I'm surprised she's actually made it this far, as she's really risen in popularity. The pure damage from her ultimate is just going to be so effective. And an Invoker, actually. So I'm excited for this already. Invoker, going to be looking out for those flashy plays. Should be a safe lane Shadow Fiend and a mid Quap against the Invoker. And Witch Doctor going to give a lot of wombo here. Hopefully with the Invoker, if they can just throw down a couple stuns and get some nice team fights going. See if Invoker's going to look to roam early with just a couple Forged Spirits, Phase Boots, or maybe he's going to go for the Quas Wex build here. And not too bad of an idea. Usually Quap won't be able to blink out because of the cast point on her blink, not being able to get out of that EMP just before it hits there. And we'll see. Maybe that's what the plan here is. Just burn the mana of a couple of these heroes and Tornado the Axe when he calls, and that way you don't have to worry about the spins. Looks like Void is going to be the ban here, so a little bit of an odd ban. We don't see Void too often. Wouldn't be too great here, honestly. If you don't catch Dazzle in the Chronosphere, he can just kind of give a Shallow Grave. Even if you do, if you hit the Shadow Fiend, he's just going to die. And even if he does die, he's going to output some damage. The Axe is going to be able to spin through it. So, the Void, a little bit of a weird ban. I don't imagine Stay Free would want to pick up the Void, but maybe they do have a couple of heroes that really prefer the Void. And the last ban here is going to have to be a support ban. And we've still got Wisp. We've still got a Chen, if they want to keep the Shadow Fiend Chen combo up. I think Chen's kind of on his way out. Not a lot of people picking up the Chen. It was really popular in DAC, especially with the Chinese teams picking up the Shadow Fiend Chen. And Huskar are going to be taken out, so that's a little odd. Maybe they're expecting a support axe and a pickup on the Rubik. He's got a lot of very nice abilities to steal this game. Death Ward, even the Lasso, the swap, and even the Witch Doctor stun is going to be so important if he can get his hands on that for sure. As we don't really have Invoker being a BKB carrier, or the Batrider really himself. He doesn't want to get BKB. He wants to maybe get Boots of Travel, Blink, Force Staff. Obviously not in that order unless you're somebody like Bone 7. But either way, some nice pickups here for the Rubik. Especially the Quap and the Shadow Fiend. They've got a ton of burst damage here on the side of Champions of Summoner's Rift. And Ember Spirit, gonna be the pickup. Pretty good pickup. The Flame Guard is going to get rid of most of that magical damage, but the Quap being pure damage and the Axe spins being physical damage, he's not really too effective against the physical damage. So later on, when his armor's being reduced, we'll have to see how they want to lane this. I imagine it's actually going to be a safe lane Invoker and a mid Ember Spirit, as the Quap won't be able to do too much here with the dagger. It's just going to kind of sit there on Ember Spirit's Flame Guard, and we're just going to jump right into it. Take a look at the lanes, as it looks like it will be a mid Shadow Fiend there. And not buying any regen. Probably going to get a couple tangos. Yeah, it looks like he's probably going to get a couple shared tangos here. Maybe it's going to be a Quap on the safe lane, which wouldn't be too bad whatsoever. Looks like she may be going to off lane position perhaps. Or no, it looks like she will be the safe lane. So maybe we could see an aggressive tri-lane here. It might be the pick. And we do see aggressive tri-lanes actually more often than not in NEL. They really like punishing whatever greeny lineups that they do see. And the Co-op's going to be just fine solo laning against this Bat Rider here for sure. And even though Bat won't have to move it in the jungle, he's got a weird set there. Those wings look so weird. Looks like all 5 heroes from the Dire are moving bot lane. Can they kill the Co-op? Does she have anything scaled yet? No, so if she can get a blink out, she should be alright. They don't have too much stun. Invoker level 1, even level 1 chains isn't that long whatsoever. And the cask from Witch Doctor won't be able to hold her for too long here. She's going to be moving up here and spotting all the heroes. Going to get a right click off on Mike. And there's the stun out from the bench. She does level blink, and there it goes. She's going to take off, and looks like no kill for the Dire. Unfortunately for them, maybe expecting the Shadow Fiend. And Radiant with an aggressive tri-lane here. We'll see if they can really get a lot done, as I imagine the Dire has already sniffed this one out. And we'll see if they're going to rotate their lanes or if this is what they want here. It's Mike in 1437. Just going to trade some hits here. JJ right by his side as well. Still unsure of what he's going to be going into. As Shadow Fiend, look at 4 heroes already posting up so aggressively on this rune. They don't want anybody to grab it. That's not them. And there we go. Quab's actually going to take it as well. She doesn't have a blink. She actually blinked in to steal it. And is she going to go down? First blood going the way of JJ. And duty-free Derek giving out the LMAO. Is not too sure if that was worth 1437. And maybe that's why you're a coach and not a player anymore. But nevertheless, 1437, still a fantastic player. Still rocking around in NEL. And it looks like they're actually going to be rotating the Rubik as well as the Dazzle back to bot lane here. And they really don't want this Bat Rider to get anything here. Maybe they were expecting an aggressive tri-lane. And look at the damage. They know he's only got sticky napalm. They don't. Yeah, I think Mike's going to be dead here. Even without a stun, they've got the blink from the quad. Meanwhile, Witch Doctor's going to get a kill top on Axe along with his Vengeful Spirit. As well as I imagine he had the Flame Guard here. So some perhaps lucky bounces there. And bot lane, another trade. So Quap, after dying early on, is going to instantly get a kill on Mike, who really can't move it in the jungle anytime soon. Although it looks like that's just what he's going to do. Only with sticky napalm. He probably would have hoped for level 2 here, but doesn't matter. As Invoker, looks like he's going to be going for the Quaswex build. And we'll see how effective that's going to be. Shadow Fiend is going to be grabbing the Eul Scepter, so he's not going to have the mech, but Eul Scepter, I believe you can Eul Scepter dodge the EMP unless it's right on point. And we'll have to see how that turns out later on. If he is going to build the Eul Scepter, if he's going to opt to get a BKB here, as he's going to be pressuring mid, is Brax. Brax still having trouble. He's actually going to be moving into the jungle here. Cloud's on the Rubik, along with Squee. On the Dazzle here, he's going to be using this pull through quite effectively, as they have an essentially free lane here. As Bat Rider, he's gone all the way to the jungle. So both teams sacking the off lane already, and Squee missing that last hit, unfortunately. Cloud's right by his side here. Going to soak up some EXP as well. Quap, a pretty good hero to just kind of last it under tower. As she's got a nice animation and some pretty good damage. Meanwhile, Brax pick up the last hits here. As he's 10 for 4 against the Invoker, only 8 for 1. So that's not what you want to give already to a Shadow Fiend. This early advantage here is Rubik. He's going to help push JJ out of the lane here. Cloud's doing a pretty good job of just throwing out the Fade Bolt. And John the Witch Doctor, he's going to pick up the Bounty Room, regen room for this Axe though. And that's going to let him really just go into this jungle again, especially with this Dazzle close by. He's got the heal as well as the Grave, even if they want to use the Grave to help ensure this Axe gets a little bit more farm here. It looks like he's going to tank some of the damage here, use the heal, and just get a little bit of damage. He did get a last hit out of that. Meanwhile, top lane, or excuse me, mid, Vengeful Spirit's going to get a kill on Rubik, so a little bit of an odd rotation there, perhaps looking for the Couriers, what happened there. And Ember Spirit saying, Clouds, what are you doing, buddy? Maybe you should have known that's what was going on. He's going to pick up his stick. He does have boots of his own, so that early kill going to net him some brown boots, which will help him with his rotations. And Invoker, not doing too bad. He's catching up somewhat. He's about 11 for 3 now against the 18 for 5. This Cloud saying this game's already meaningless. And good old NA Dota. Everybody giving up right away. Channeling the inner spirit of EE and Arteezy, I'm sure. Looks like the Venge and the Witch Doctor both smoked. They're looking for Axe in the jungle. They've both cleared it up. However, maybe they're going to find the Shadow Fiend with his nose in a stack here. And no, it looks like they are going to look for this Axe as well as the Dazzle. They should know, though, that the Dazzle's there. And look at this Witch Doctor a little bit off here. The Dazzle stun. It's going to land between the Axe. No, an unfortunate jump there. Actually, not expecting that. There's the heal up as well as the damage onto this Venge. She's going to go down and she's going to trade, unfortunately, though, for this Witch Doctor who's just going to get out no call anytime soon. Are they going to get her? No. Very low. So a 1-for-1 trade there. Bat Rider so low. ixMike in this jungle, really wanting to get these last hits right now. Only 36 HP, does have a salve, and yeah, he's going to pop it right now. But with no more napalm stacks on these creeps, and with the regen, he's got to be careful there. Really needs to get that regen down. And look at that, Dazzle getting another kill on Ember Spirit there. Unfortunately, missing that one. And top lane, not sure how that one happened. Just two heroes. It looked like just the Rubik and the Dazzle. The damage from the weave there, the physical damage, or excuse me, not from the weave. But there's so much physical damage onto this Spirit, on this Ember Spirit. And he really can't deal with that this early on. Flame Guard's not going to prevent any of that. And Rubik, Clouds, see how I just pwned you? So, a little bit of friendly banter. We can always look forward to that in some NEL action. JaH, he's going to take a little bit of damage here from Brax mid lane. And Clouds still standing up here with and Duty Free Derek, he's coming up here as well. Looks like Axe did finish his Tranquil Boots, going to help him jungle. And there's the Tornado up onto the Shadow Fiend. Do they want to continue to go on this? It looks like no. They should notice that he's got an Invis rune. And maybe if they would have saved that Tornado for the Invis, I believe it would have purged the Invis off. I could be wrong, but I think the Tornado would have purged the Invis. So low up here, Rubik top lane. And looks like Duty Free Derek perhaps wants to keep going on Clouds, but no, he's just going to turn around. And so he's not close enough by to continue with that chase. He does have a bottle. Look at this Soko. Squee just standing right next to Brax, afraid that they're going to want to go on him. As Mike not doing too bad. Already got 1,000 gold here. Still sitting on that ward, so didn't even place it bot. As he just left the lane instantly. It looks like 1437. He's going to be moving in towards the Orchid. And let's hold on to that thought real quick, as it looks like they're going for Brax here. But a nice positioning from Brax. He's going to get away to this gank. He's actually going to turn around. He's going to eat the stun as well as the Tornado, the Amp as well. But they still have the Shallow Grave. There's the Shallow Grave going to be sent. Some nice TP rotation. Quap's going to jump in. She's already level 6, so she's going to get a kill there instantly. And JaH not expecting that rotation from 1437. Axe still posting up here. He's got to be very careful. He's not as strong as he would hope to be. And Roshan's going to get the deny here onto JaH. Meanwhile, Quap's going to continue to chase and Zoe. And 1437 just so aggressive right now. Does have the dagger if they want to spend it. No, actually going to opt to use the blink here. And Mike still just sitting on 1,200 gold. Not going to be too effective there in that fight, as JaH's just going to TP back mid. Squee still close by to 1437 here, but they did not expect Squee to be that close. And a nice rotation there from 1437. Just helping secure that Brax doesn't die. And nice little bait that was. Dire, they do have a ward here, so it looks like Duty Free Derek maybe not paying attention, or maybe feeling a little bit safer than he actually is. Quap does have the blink in. There's the stun from the Venge as well as Squee, though. He's close by. Not going to be able to get the Shallow Grave off. Can they perhaps get a kill here on a Duty Free Derek? It looks like no. Close by is the Witch Doctor, who has Cask in about 1 second. Is he going to spend it? He could. There it is. So he's going to throw it in. Oh, Squee, it's not going to land on him, and it's actually going to go right to the creep wave. So an unfortunate jump yet again for JaH here on the Witch Doctor, as Duty Free Derek, he's going to go in, throw the chains out, and he's getting a little bit too greedy here perhaps, as we do have a lot of physical damage here from Squee, and it seems like that's going to be the end of the fight here, as Zoe and JaH both leaving, as not too comfortable with any of the fight that would have gone on after that. Brax and JaH still just fighting mid lane. Brax 54 last hits up against the 30 of JaH, and he's getting absolutely dominated in this mid lane here, especially with that gank, that turnaround. Beautiful plays there from the Radiant, by the way, as Axe is going to continue to jungle. 1,800 gold himself, and he's pretty close to a Blink Dagger. Paw's going to come out here from JaH, and what kind of Dota would this be, competitive or not, without a Dota pause? So we're going to take a little bit of a break here and kind of break down the game. So looks like Shadow Fiend, perhaps Brax, still wanting to go for the Yule Scepter here. He's level 8 already, and we'll see him moving into his ultimate within the next few levels, and that's when it gets very scary. JaH, he's not going to be too useful for a little bit here. 1437 on the Quap. He's going to be moving, like I said, into that Orchid. And JaH, he's going to have a tough time. Only level 3. Unfortunately for him, just about level 4. It's only 8 minutes in, so he's not too far behind. But you really want to get that level 6 as fast as possible as Witch Doctor. He's actually going for the Maledict build. We don't see that too often usually, or a majority of the time. Maybe not so much recently, but we've seen the Voodoo Restoration build be very popular. The heal's just so strong early on for keeping teammates alive and waiting on juice here. ixMike going to stay in the jungle here. JaH's going to give the G, and looks like he's ready to go. So a little bit of a null in action here, as Top lane, 1437 and Clouds are going to continue to push in this tower. And JaH, again, he's close by, but what can he do, really? Ember Spirit's going to come back in with his Spirit, actually, that he left behind there. So, not wasting too much time here, being a little bit efficient. Clearing the small camp a couple times here is not feeling too safe yet in the lane. They do have a nice ward here on the Radiant. Unfortunately, they can't see behind this annoying tree here. So, it's going to pick up the Bounty Rune here. It's Axe close by to the double damage rune bot. We'll see if they want to give that to the Shadow Fiend, who, again, do we know what he wants to grab here? I'd imagine the Yule Scepter, but you never know what's going to happen in NA Dota. Brax, we'll see what he wants to favor here. Squee, again, just camping mid lane here. Ensuring that Brax isn't going to die to any gank attempts here. But what can JJ do, really, with that Tornado EMP? Not going to be too much damage. Maybe he'll just hope to burn the mana and see what he can do after that. But Squee, did he get seen there? I don't believe so. JJ just going to look to block up the lane. And look at this. 2 wards from both the Radiant and the Dire. Just side by side right now. Brax just going to raise down the lane and say, yeah, I don't want anything closer than that. Duty Free Derek is farming quite well. But look who's here, Quap. Close by. Just going to blink in. 1437 blowing up Duty Free Derek there. And wow. Absolutely amazing amounts of damage. Obviously, Duty Free didn't expect that to come out. And just blinking in. The ult from the Quap is just so much damage right now. Already pure damage. Not really expecting perhaps that pure damage. 290. Jeez. Clouds is close by. As well as the Axe with the Blink Dagger here. Yuko. Maybe he's going to want to go here. Look at that. He's actually going to blink past her. There's the lift as well as the Battle Hunger. The call. No, not going to land just yet. 1437. Do they have the Shallow Grave? Yes. Shallow Grave just barely going to land. 1437. 3 HP. You've got to be kidding me. He's actually going to get out of this. Just passing by JaH. Unfortunately, they walk side by side. There's Duty Free Derek, though. He's ready for the Regoose. And look at that squeeze. He's going to TP out here. Is he going to get out? Looks like maybe. Yes, he's just barely going to survive on that one. Meanwhile, Yoko is very close to this JaH right here. JaH still only level 4. Clouds close by as well, so maybe he's going to use a lift. No, he's going to TP out. Chains not going to go on to Clouds. Do they have the cold snap? No, unfortunately, 2 seconds left on that, but Axe, he should be out. He should be the one that's going to eat the cold snap here, and he's going to go down no matter what. Duty Free Derek's going to secure another kill there, and ixMike saying, hey guys, I'm in this game too, but not going to be too helpful there, and it looks like, yeah, the Yule Scepter is going to be the item of choice here on Brax. We don't see too much deviation from that. And Zoe on the Venge is going to try and soak up a little bit mid lane. Both Clouds as well as Squee just barely getting out of that engagement. Both TPing so low. It's like Squee is going to go for the... Oh, wow. Look at the aggression from 1437. Got to be careful. Invis rune here. And look at... There's the swap right there. Right back. And look at the damage here so far. There's the Emp's going to go down. 2 heroes. 1 hero. 2 heroes are going to go down. Squee's going to go down. Doesn't even get a chance to Shallow Grave himself. And even if he did, maybe he did there. It looks like no, he didn't. And just not lasting long enough. They did spend the lasso on Mike. So... At least the Radiant is going to be a little bit comfortable knowing that there isn't a lasso anytime soon. But still, the damage in that fight was absolutely massive. The swap in. The Venge was already so low. Just swapping the Quap back. Saying, yeah, you can't do anything. Ember Spirit with the Invis rune. Just getting a nice bit of damage there. We do see the Tranquils on the Witch Doctor. So maybe the good old ixMike. Or excuse me, the good old PPD. Looks like JJ actually getting a kill onto the Rubik mid. But getting a dominating streak. But PPD's... Tranquil Boots, and what else does he get? Tranquil Boots and his Soul Ring. So good old PPD, roll 36 support. We're gonna have a Bracer into smoke. How can I not cast Tornado with 0 cast time? Riddle me that. Cloud's a little confused as to what happened on that kill mid. Unfortunately, did miss that one, but what can I say? Queen of Pain, 1437, still working on this Orchid, and I'd already 13 minutes in, 12 minutes. How effective is it going to be when he finally gets his hands on it? Is Duty Free Derek just going to be pushing out right beside the Shadow Fiend? Who's it pinging it out here? It looks like there's the Yule Scepter. Is he going to grab the regen? He's going to get Cold Snap. EMP is going to land as well, so even with the regen rune, he's going to go down here. Unfortunately, going to lose all of his souls. Not going to be able to cast anything. There's the blink in from the Axe. Unfortunately, missed his call. I don't know if he took a little bit of damage there, but there's the lasso being used. Squeeze being brought up on the cliff. 1437, though, he's going to blink behind. Get his ultimate off, too. So a nice scream and a sonic wave there. Going to put so much damage here. But so far, only the Venge. It looks like JaH is barely going to survive. 1437, blinking again. No, Duty Free Derek's going to get out alive. And 2 for NEL. Excuse me, 2 for 1. Only the Venge going down for the Shadow Fiend. And it looks like Yoko, he wants to go for more. Is he going to have the blink? No, he doesn't have the blink. Battle Hunger is not going to be useful enough either. He needs the chop or the blink call if he can get it. Close by, though. 1437 perhaps could help him in Clouds. Is he going to get it? What's he going to use here? There it is. The one more right click. Two more right clicks. Is he going to get it? Oh, Clouds. Just barely going to get duty-free Derek there. He's going to go down, though. JaH's close by. He's got the stun. Hashtag worth. 1437. Looks like he wants to go in again. Does he have the damage? Tornado from the Invoker. Just barely going to kiss the axe there. Not going to land. There's the blink as well as the call. The scream's going to output so much damage. The chop from the axe. He wants to keep going. JJ's got to be careful. 1437 still close by. And so is the Shadow Fiend. There's the ultimate. Not too many souls just yet. But JJ's going to go down. And there's the Invoker mega kill going towards Brax. And that's going to be very helpful towards his next item here, and we'll have to see what that's going to be. His 3-for-1 here is the trade after Rubik going down to get the Ember Spirit there, so a nice trade for him. Perhaps they didn't expect so many heroes on the Radiant to return so fast, and 1437 is going to continue to pressure this top lane. Going to be quite safe. He is going to scream this last little wave down as duty-free Derek wants to go in. He's actually going to miss the Sleight of Fist, and he's going to waste his chains as well, so looks like perhaps they're going to want to go. There's the call. They're going to bring him back. They've still got the lift from the Rubik here. Looks like maybe they're scared that somebody's behind them, but no. All 3 heroes from the Dire are moving towards mid to perhaps pressure Brax here, but they're not going to find anything. And unfortunately for the Radiant, hindsight is 2020. And look at this, 1437 going to get caught out. They do find him, fortunately enough, and they're going to spend everything to ensure that he goes down. There's the ward going to be thrown down for the Radiant. Squeeze just passing it under the last ward from the Radiant. They're excuse me, from the Dire. Clouds is going to be lifted up. There's the throwback, and he's going to go down as well. And so he's getting the last hit from the Vengeful Spirit. Magic Missile going to secure that kill. And JJ, he wants to keep going. Still has an EMP invoked as well as a Cold Snap here. But looks like they're going to leave it at that. Brax just farming up. He's going to grab his BKB here. And I imagine the BKB, I don't think the Sage and Yasha is a better idea. As the BKB is going to get rid of a lot. The cast, the Tornado, the EMP, pretty much everything. All the control that the Invoker brings to the match here is going to be nulled by this BKB. He could still get swapped, still get lassoed for sure, but not going to get changed and not going to take the Flame Guard damage. As you see, both teams just move into their jungles and they're going to get comfortable with just farming up whatever they can here. And Clouds looks like he is going to be moving here. I'd imagine into a Force Staff. Looks like he is going for a Dagon with the items he has, but I believe that was an early null just to get some stats up, and can't imagine he's actually going to go for a Dagon. Some nice aggressive wards here from the Dire. They've got one mid lane and one on the Radiant. I guess you could call this between the two top and mid lane here. Looks like 1437 is going to go top. Duty-free Derek's close by, perhaps wanting to go on this. 1437 could blink in. The pure damage is going to be too much for Duty-free Derek to blink in, but look who's close by. It's JaH, and TP up as well from the axe, so perhaps 1437 may be alright, but look at the damage from the Death Ward. 1437 is going to throw out his ultimate, and look at this, the call from the axe. Is he going to be able to get duty-free Derek as well? No, he's going to go. He's just going to throw out his Spirit and TP, and can Yoko do anything? It looks like no. Meanwhile, mid lane, ixMike's going to get a killing spree. Clouds is going to go down here to the Bat Rider. I believe they spent Lasso there. Yeah, they did. So Lasso was spent. No Shallow Grave in time, as this seems to be Squeeze's favorite position this entire game. A nice regen rune top. Perhaps a little bit of an S4 rune here for Axe, if he can pick it up, but I don't believe he will. Is he going to turn around, maybe try and get a juke? He went for it, but not going to get it. Duty-free Derek returning to the Spirit that he sent out before the TP. Going to ensure the kill onto the Axe, so Yuko maybe perhaps getting a little bit too aggressive there. And it's going to be a little quiet for now. 14-19, 16 minutes in, so quite an aggressive game so far. Looks like Invoker's going to TP mid, look to get the farm here. To pick up his Midas and his drums that she's had for quite a while, so we'll see what he's going to move into next. Could be an Orchid, perhaps a Blink Dagger, just to ensure a little bit better positioning here. We usually see the Orchid on the Quaswex Invokers, but could really be anything. 1437, close to finishing his Orchid as well now, as Tornado was thrown out mid. Squee again, just sitting in his little pocket. ixMike gonna move bot, does pick up his bots. Maybe going to be looking into a Force Staff next. Usually we see the Force Staff first, but ixMike favoring the bots instead, and not a bad idea with how aggressive and spread out this game's been. Meanwhile, Brax and Clouds both top lane. Duty-free Derek's close by with Insoi and JJ. And a pause from JaH. Fortunately, more lag. Classic Dota here. And does anybody have any wards here? I don't believe so. The Dire's got a sentry, but they don't see them. Do they have the, no, so no negative armor from the SF just yet. Here we go. Brax is going to turn the corner. He's perhaps going to Yule somebody here. Here we go. Brax just walking in, looking to race, perhaps not paying attention here. There's the M going to be thrown out. The M going to be returned by the Rubik. Brax is just barely going to live, but no, it doesn't matter. It's not enough. He's going to go down. The Yule Scepter not going to save him, and a little bit of an unfortunate pause. Perhaps Brax wasn't paying full attention there, and he's going to go down. Maybe looking elsewhere on the map. Maybe he was in the store, but nonetheless, he's going to go down here. And Dire going to pick up their advantage. Take a look at the grass real quick, as the Radiant did have quite a big net worth lead for a majority of the game, but the Dire's kind of stealing it away from them, almost down to 0 from what was about 6,000. And it looks like, yeah, look at the XP advantage there from Stay Free, the Dire side, the Stay Free stack. Just so far in their advantage right now. This rubber band effect. See, maybe if the Radiant can come back, though, use the rubber band to their own effect. Duty Free Derek does see Yuko. Is going to throw out the chains and just kind of leave it at that. Maybe. There's the force stuff in the blink. They're actually going to go on Duty Free Derek. This axe is going to blow up. M's going to be thrown out. Quap's got the ultimate. It's only going to hit JJ. Brax is showing up. He's only got 17 souls. The Emp returned from the Rubik, actually going to ensure that nobody on the side of the Dire has any mana aside from the Invoker. He's going to get culled from the axe who blinked in here. On low HP, he's able to return, and Duty Free Derek, he's too low. No mana, no HP. Brax is coming up from the side. There's the Orchid just to help ensure the kill, and he's dead. JaH, close by. He's got to be careful. Nobody noticing him just yet. Radiant going to stack up and look to take this top racks, or excuse me, this top tower, as Mike just going to do what he can, and staying in the Radiant jungle. Going to help try and reduce whatever farm that they maybe would want to go home and get from that jungle. So, not a bad idea in the first place of being in their jungle, and honestly, the Dire should have known that the Radiant was here. They have this ward. They have this ward. They see that their jungle's somewhat warded. They have a ward mid. They know ixMike is in the enemy jungle farming up, and they don't see anybody. They should have known that Radiant was all top lane. Perhaps they were not expecting the axe to blink in, or not expecting that the Radiant had as much damage as they did, but fortunately for them, that is what happened. Venge's going to pick up this illusion rune. Squeeze mid along with Yuko. Looks like Invoker, perhaps looking for a sheep stick here, as they are going to use the Tornado EMP right onto Squeeze. Not even going to be able to grave here. Just getting instantly stunned up, and the Cold Snap just going to be so effective. Not going to be able to use absolutely anything there. The pull from Yuko, not going to get it, unfortunately for him. He's going to pick up his Tranquils again, and there's a DD rune. It looks like they're ready for Rosh. JaH's actually going to pick up the DD, so maybe not going to move into Roshan here, as we do see top lane. Batrider's going to get the dominating. He's going to kill Clouds. ixMike, nice little pick off there for him, and he's been getting a lot more solo pickups than you'd expect here. He's been getting Clouds. I believe that's the second time he's caught Clouds out. Duty Free Derek just going to push the spot tower here. Throw up the Flame Guard and look to push it out. Still, all the tier 1s up for the Radiant side. This mid is so low. But look at this, standing 1437. He's just going to blink right in. There's the axe blinking in as well. Is he going to get stunned up? JaH's going to get a couple nice bounces there of the stun, but it doesn't matter. 1437 is going to get a kill on the Venge. Brax is going to ensure the kill onto the Invoker, and 1437, he's going to keep chasing, and why not? He's got another blink in 2 seconds. JaH most certainly is going to go down. ixMike, though, mid lane, looking to defend it, and look at this, 1437 just blinking in against JaH yet again. Maybe not, though. Changing his mind, but Brax isn't, and he wants to continue to go here. He's going to eat a couple tower shots. Mike does have the lasso. No, he doesn't. 14 seconds until the lasso's up. They are going to throw out the stun on Brax. Is he going to use himself to help prevent his death here, as he does have the heal from Squeeze, going to help keep him alive. Meanwhile, 1437 is going to end up killing Duty Free Derek bot lane here, as Brax getting so low to the Maledict. ixMike really wants to go on it. There's the Yule Scepter giving Mike his opportunity. He does have the lasso, but he's got to be careful. He's got to dominate. He's going to lasso up on Squeeze. Meanwhile, JaH looks like he's coming in to prove, to throw out a deny there on the tower. He's not going to get it, though. And Yuko, he's going to pull him back. ixMike blinking, and yet again, doesn't have the lasso this time. They got to be careful. Squeeze, he's going to BKB. He's going to get swapped, but that's going to give him an easier ulti here. And look at the ultimate. He's going to go down, and so he's going to take a lot of damage. ixMike, very low as well. Call's going to miss. Invoker, he's TP'd in again. He does have the Deafening Blast. Not going to be too effective, though. Mike, as well as the Invoker, just going to right-click Yuko as he's going to go down. Meanwhile, Brax going to activate a bounty rune here, and that's going to be a dead axe here. Squee a little bit too far off to help that, and looks like Squee, he's in a little bit of danger as well, but JJ seeing Brax close by, not going to continue to chase with that. And that fight, a lot of low heroes there, especially ixMike getting so low. But a nice rotation from 1437 at the very least is going to secure kill on a duty-free Derek as mid-tower denied from Clouds. And look at that instant Orchid here from 1437. He's just going to blink out. He's got to be careful, though. They could continue to chase. He's actually going to get found. He's going to get changed up. There's the Yule Scepter. Not the Yule Scepter, the Tornado. And that's a dead 1437 and a killing spree going towards JaH, who's got 3k now. It looks like he's going to be going towards the Sheep Stick. He should be able to pick up the Mystic Staff if he wants to. A nice little Sentry Ward here up from JaH, but no ward there from the Radiant as Brax does pop the Invis, and they do see him. A nice cheeky ward from the Dire, just barely going to catch him right there. The Invis rune, Brax perhaps going to look to stop them from roshing. They do lay down, look at that, a Sentry Ward. Brax is going to walk right under it. They know he's there. Brax is going to blow up almost instantly, and yeah, unfortunately for him, they did lay down the Sentry after seeing him there, and they're just going to take the Rosh. They'll swap in on his Squee, who's far out of position. Far out of position here. He's going to get stunned up. He's going to go down, throwing out the Shallow Grave just for good measure. But 3 heroes down, and it looks like they're going to get Yuko here. ixMike, he does have the lasso, the chains as well on the Clouds. He's going to get blown up instantly. The Tornado EMP is going to secure the kill, and Ember Spirit going to get a triple kill here. 5 heroes down from the Radiant, and that's a free Roshan in terms of as far as Dire is concerned here. They don't have the best roshing team whatsoever. The Venge actually not going to help them because she doesn't have the mana to even throw it a wave. I think she threw maybe just one. No, actually Rosh still with plenty of armor, and there's the Sheep Stick from the Invoker. Are they going to pop this and sheep him? Maybe not. It is popped. Actually, no, the chains doesn't pop it. So there it is. There's the pop now. And Invoker does still have the sheep if he wants to spend it. The illusions are going to take up some nice damage. Duty-free Derek just going to reach on some more, and not even going to spend the sheep here. With 5 heroes, they do finally get Rosh taken down quite quickly, and Ember Spirit going to be the one to pick up the Aegis here. As blows up quite quickly to this Quap, and we'll see. I imagine, yeah, it looks like 1437 though could be a BKB at this point as well, or perhaps the Aghanim Scepter. Yeah, it is the BKB for 1437. Is going to complete it. Just needs to get it brought out to him. So I imagine he's going to be looking towards the Aghanim Scepter after that, as just the cooldown reduction is so useful. Duty-free Derek, though, moving top lane. We are getting a couple pings out here as they do have that last ward. Looks like he wants to go onto Squee here. 1437 close by. He's got to be careful. He's going to get a chains onto 1437. JJ is close by as well as ixMike, both rotating in. And with only 2 of them here, looks like ixMike wants to go. There's the blink in. He's going to bring back 1437. Ember Spirit's going to jump in as well. There's the Hex. 1437 is going to go down. Tornado EMP are going to ensure Squee's death as well. And JaH's close by to Yuko and Clouds. They've got to be careful. There's the stun being thrown out. He's just going to blink away from it. Force Staff as well. And can't get rid of it here as Brax going to just push bot lane. A little bit of a quiet point here as 2 heroes down from the Radiant. The Dire's just going to look to push mid. Finally getting rid of all those outer tier 1s.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
ixMike playing a fantastic bat right of this game so far. Again, what a weird bat. I don't think I've seen that bat before. Promo Burning Iron. I have not seen that bat just yet. So pretty cool bat that he's got picked up there. And Venge, she's gonna be very aggressive here. Gonna throw it on the Observer Ward. I imagine they know Rubik's gonna lift him back, and that should be a dead Venge. No, they're a little bit too afraid. Although Brax is close by, he's gonna throw the heals up. Are they even gonna spend the ultimate? No, they don't even need the Shadow Fiend ulti. Although maybe they do. There's actually the call into the tree, so he's gonna go down instantly. The Venge is gonna die, and duty-free Derek not comfortable with this engagement. The rest of his team far off. He knows he could die twice here, and he's gonna get out. Smart move by him. We're going to see the Radiant start to push up themselves. Brax just raising down these waves. Looks like he's going to be moving, I imagine, into the Scotty next. Although it could also be the Sheep Stick. We have seen a couple Sheep Stick Shadow Fiends. Definitely not out of the question here as Radiant spread out quite well in this tier 2 attempt here. Brax just going to ult on the wave. There's Mike. He's actually going to Firefly, instantly going to Yuko. Meanwhile, 1437's in the back here. Going to Orchid up the Invoker as well as spend the wave. And look at the damage there. The Invoker's going to go down. Duty-free Derek isn't going to take any damage from Brax, who's got to be careful. Death Ward is physical damage. He's going to actually get a kill onto Rubik. Both 1437, Rubik, and Yuko all going to go down there just for the Invoker here. Squee, he's got to be very careful. Brax did manage to DP out. He is going to use his Shallow Grave, but that's only going to buy him a couple seconds before he goes down. And Wow, what looked like it was going to be maybe a good engagement from the Radiant after the Invoker, not able to use many spells. Didn't turn out so, as Brax using his ultimate onto the Ember Spirit, who just soaked it all up in the Flame Guard. Unfortunately for the Radiant, not going to come out ahead on that. Not even going to get the tower. Only not even at half HP, actually. Close to half HP, but not half yet. And Dire with some nice vision here around the jungle and around mid lane. So going to find all the heroes close on these low ground jungling points. And maybe Brax wants to go on 14, or excuse me, on duty free Derek here, as we do have a TP in from Clouds, but he's got to be careful. He's going to get stunned up. Clouds is perhaps a bit too far in. There's the Yule Scepter, as well as the swap though onto Brax. Brax perhaps is going to pay for his life as well, trying to save this Rubik here, who's getting a bit too aggressive. And no, they're just going to leave Brax, not feeling too comfortable. They know that squeeze up as well as the Axe, so Shallow Grave and the call from the Axe could prove to be a little bit too much for the Dire to handle here, as duty free Derek just dealing so much damage to the Rubik there, who Clouds actually did go for the Dagon. I am completely surprised. I honestly thought it was going to be a 4-staff here, and he obviously had other plans, as Yuko going to grab a couple of Ancients here, getting a nice little double stack. Going to give him a little bit more gold here. JJ did pick up the sheep stick, does have 1700 gold. Mike, we'll see. He's going to be looking for a sheep himself, I imagine. Not going to go for the Shiva's Guard build, and it looks like, yeah, it's actually going to be the Scotty on Brax here. Just going to tank up a little bit. We'll see if 1437 wants to move into next. He's got 1200 gold of his own here. And the Scotty is going to be the pickup for the Ember Spirit here, so we don't see that too often. Usually you see a Battle Fury at least, but he's going to be so hard to kill with the Manta. You can almost never kill this Ember Spirit. Just Manta up, dodge the stun, get out of the silence, and get out of there with your Spirit, as the Aegis is going to wear off. Nice little regen rune there, and we see Roche going to be up in about 3 minutes, so nice little 8-minute respawn there. We'll see who that's going to end up favoring. The smoke's going to be tossed down, and duty free Derek, he's coming in with the double damage. The smoke's going to land, but it doesn't matter. Look at the damage from the Ember Spirit. He's got to be careful. He's actually going to get used up, but he doesn't have the Aegis anymore. There's the Amp. Not going to be of any use at all. Shadow Fiend's going to channel the ult. Brax is going to hit absolutely nothing. Just barely catching a few heroes, including the Venge. Duty free Derek going to continue to go in, but the ultimate from the Quap. He's got to be careful. As he orchided up, he's going to pop from the Orchid. Meanwhile, the chase onto the Rubik as well as the Axe, I believe. Yeah, the Rubik. No, actually, the Rubik and the Dazzle are going to blow up. Double kill for 1437. Triple kill and an unstoppable here for JaH, who's playing quite well himself here onto this Witch Doctor. And he's got his Aghanim Scepter now. That's going to be a very terrifying Death Ward. Radiant's going to have some fantastic positioning to not eat all of that damage here. And Mike wasn't even in that fight, and they still took a 3 for 2. Mike just walking around in Firefly, just casual Mike, jungling up, farming the lane, split pushing where he can. And he's got a lot of gold himself, 3.4k. 1437 though with 3.1 after a nice double kill there, one of them being the Ember Spirit. Scotty obviously not tanking him up enough there. Perhaps he went in a little bit too early, getting used up immediately. Maybe he didn't notice that the Aegis was gone, but I can't imagine that's the case, really. 1437, he's going to pick up, or excuse me, not 1437, ixMike is going to pick up the sheep stick of himself, and Clouds is still so poor onto this Rubik. You got to wonder why he's going Dagon Rubik. Shadow Fiend does pick up his own Scotty, and Brax is going to be hitting quite hard. About 220. Still some solid damage as... Oh no, they see the ward. Unfortunately for the Radiant, that's going to get taken out almost instantaneously, I'd imagine. And Dire just with such great vision around this mid lane, on the Ancients, around these mid jungle, and even right back to almost the mid tier 3. While Radiant, they really are blind here. They've got the one ward on the Ancients, but doesn't give them too much vision. Meanwhile, ixMike's going to go in on Clouds, and that is a dead Rubik, everybody. He's going to go down almost instantly. No Shallow Grave. 4-staff is going to be the item choice for Clouds. He's really trying to work on that, and unfortunately for him, though, still quite a ways away as the Radiant ready for this Roshan. They're actually ready for the 8-minute Roshan. They're going to get it pretty early on. 1437, he's still standing bot lane. JJ as well as Duty Free Derek, both close by. 1437 though, just going to stick in the trees and he's going to be alright. We've got the gem on ixMike, just so efficient at de-warding here. And Bounty Rune getting pinged out. Going to be picked up by the Ember. 30 seconds on Roche. Ember just going to leave the Spirit. Look at this. We're going to have a fight in the jungle here. It looks like the Sheep Stick onto the Quap. Is she going to be able to perhaps survive to maybe get her BKB and her ultimate off? The mana is going to be burnt down to about halfway there. There's the Death Ward, and just look at it bounce through. They're actually going to get a nice little stun. No, actually, they're not going to stop the Death Ward whatsoever. The Venge as well as the Witch Doctor both going to go down, but not before Quap and Dazzle both die. Invoker, there's the Dagon doing some work here from the Rubik, and look at this. Brax is still alive in the end. He's going to channel his ultimate. Look at the damage. He's not going to be able to get a kill, unfortunately, though, on ixMike. Or this Ember Spirit, who's tanky with his Scotty, and he's going to be able to get a kill here on the Clouds, I'd imagine. There's the Flame Guard being used. Can he steal anything? Yeah, he's going to steal the Flame Guard, perhaps return it, and even though the right clicks are going to do enough damage, there's the lift. Not going to be enough, though. Yuko's going to go down as well. It's going to be a 5-for-3 when all's said and done. Invoker, Witch Doctor, and Venge, the only 3 heroes to go down, and 2 cores still surviving. Most importantly, the Ember Spirit. And it started off, again, not too bad for the for the Radiant. They got a couple key kills right off the bat, but the Witch Doctor just getting a full duration Death Ward there. JaH, nice little clutch play from him. That Aghanim Scepter being so helpful, just absolutely blowing up that Queen of Pain here. And look at this, duty-free Derek. He's ready to go. The Illusion's going to tank it up for him, and just look at the attack speed. He's actually going Eagle Song, so looks like he wants to grab a Butterfly, I'd imagine. I can't see it, honestly, being the E-Blade here. He's going to let the second Illusion tank up now, and just look at the attack speed slope from the Scotty right now. 45 attack speed slope. You don't really notice it in a team fight, but when you see Roche hitting so slow, you really pales in comparison to any other attack speed slow here. As we're going to have the Venge. Actually, got a salve here, I believe, from the Venge. Yeah, she's got another salve. She is going to throw the Wave of Terror. I like the icons on the set here. He's going to pick up the Bounty Rune, and he's just going to look to keep pressuring this Roshan. As JaH's close by with his heal if he wants to spend it, but no, he's going to sit on the outside of Roche, and perhaps they're going to bait this attack and just use the Death Ward here. They would love to get Roche if they could, but are they going to be able to get it? Yeah, just look at the attack speed and the damage from the Invoker there, and probably going to drop. No, he's not going to drop his TP. He's going to TP home. Regen up. Does he have a Spirit close by? He doesn't, so who's going to pick it up? Yeah, there it is. I'm not sure why the Spirit wasn't being shown there, but meanwhile, ixMike, he's going to pick up 1437. There's the Sheep, as well as the Death Ward. Going to jump a little bit to Brax there, and look at this. Ember Spirit just going to go right in. Blax is going to use. He's going to try to ultimate, but no, the Swap's going to cancel it, and now he's going to try and get a couple raises up. The Blink Call, Shadow Fiend, now's the best time to ultimate. No, he's going to get sheeped. He's going to get forced up. He's going to go down. Yuko should be next in line, and Radiant just really falling too far behind here. 47-27. I'm not sure if they can come back, and I can't imagine they can. We should see the GG sometime soon, as Rubik's still trying to get that level 2 Dagon. Does have it now if he wants to pick it up. Squee, though, still working on his Force Staff. Doesn't even have it yet. Looks like Dyer's drawing the line. Bot lane. JJ saying, guys, let's go. Take this last tower in. Duty-free Derek just going to push out this mid lane. JaH and ixMike both close by. Lasso up in 10 seconds. Seems like such a short cooldown, and he's just going to continue to chase Clouds. He's got a Vendetta here. Clouds, you're almost certainly going to go down no matter what you steal right now. There's the chains being used, but the Manta to get out, and that's a dead Rubik again. Clouds not being too effective this game. Squee, he's going to be sheeped up. ixMike is going to ensure the kill. They don't even need the lasso for that, or the Death Ward, or anything really. Just going to get the Maledict as well as the fire there. Going to be enough to ensure the kill, and there's the Tornado onto the creeps. Going to be bringing them to about half. Yeah, there they are. They're all just going to go down to the right clicks here from JJ, and Radiant 5 heroes down, just getting picked off across the map here. Should be the end of the game. They're going to pick up a smoke, go for a last minute smoke here. As, nobody wants to lose an ixDL. Or I guess NEL, if you will. 1437 though. Here we go. He's going to just post up on a JJ who's going to try and BKB a TP out. Is he going to survive? Just barely going to get the last right click in. It's 1437. JJ sticking around way too long. Not expecting the damage, I'd imagine, but look at this. ixMike is coming in. He's ready for some redemption here, and it looks like, no, he's going to turn around. He sees Yuko there, and he's not too comfortable with going in on that. Brax close by as well, but with no souls, I can imagine. Only 15 souls here. He's not going to be too effective just yet. Going to really need to jungle up, but with Yuko, no, he's not going to take it. 1437, going to blink on the cliff here. 1437's got the blink of his, or excuse me, the sheep of his own here. So we'll see if he's going to pick that up, or maybe save for buyback, as Ember Spirit does pick up the Butterfly, and 20 armor right now. He's just so tanky with the Scotty, with the miss chance, as well as the 20 armor. I'm really not sure how they can bring him down. Of course, they've still got all the damage from the Quap. 1437 with that pure damage ultimate. Going to be so effective. And yeah, he's just going to pick up the Sheep Stick. Not going to save for buyback. Actually, no. A Lincoln Sphere is going to be the choice of 1437 here, which not a bad idea. They do have the Sheep Sticks, which they need to deal with, but I'm not sure if that's the game-winning item. Maybe it's the game-prolonging item. Duty-free Derek, he's going to actually get orchided up, but with the mantle, he's not even going to care. He's just going to get out of there. 1437 wasting his BKB, although it should have probably already been on 5 seconds, as he got it quite earlier on. Age is going to be reclaimed in about a minute and a half. Just a little over a minute and a half here. ixMike just playing a very good game. Absolutely solid. It looks like he's going to go for a Radiance here, and perhaps an Abyssal. No matter what it is, look at how hard he hits. Already hitting for about 210 damage there. As really wouldn't expect that from a Bat Rider. But with the Sheep Stick, the Blink, the Force Staff, he just stayed alive all game. Only 6-1, giving up that first death at the beginning of the game. Just going to start taking the jungle of the Radiant yet again. Reducing whatever farm potential they may have had. And ixMike really being an MVP here. Duty-free Derek playing quite well. He's been caught out though. And looks like we've got the Ghost, or excuse me, not the Ghost Scepter. But looks like the Shadow Blade's going to be the pickup here for JaH. It's going to be that much harder to kill during his ultimate. And if you can't hold him down, how can you hope to stop the Egg's Death Ward? And it looks like Dire, they're saying, hey, we've only got a little bit left onto this Aegis. We really got to get rid of it. Duty-free Derek just going to go right up here. And look at the damage from the pure right clicks. You don't see a right-clicking Ember Spirit hitting this quickly all too often. Usually you just reserve whatever damage. Look at that, the Invoker. He's actually going to get called. The Aegis is going to be down so soon. Maybe they've got a timer on it. He's got to be careful. BKB going to be thrown. Duty-free Derek going to back out, though. Getting a little afraid. I believe we're close to the 30-second mark on that Aegis. Should be popping up anytime soon. There's the Yule Scepter. There's the call. Actually, no, he's going to dodge it with a nicely timed Sleight of Fist. But close by is Brax. He's going to look to get a kill here. Looks like, look at the Death Ward. JaH, they've got no way to stop him. He's going to get a full duration channel. Nobody can walk into that. And Brax is going to get killed here. Duty-free Derek, though. How many seconds does he have left on that Aegis? He's not going to pop it just yet, but he should if he wants to get rid of it. There it is. It's going to go down finally. JaH's going to throw out the stun, and Duty-free Derek's going to come back up with full HP and mana, and they've got to be careful of the slights. Look at that. The slight change. He's going to go on clouds. Shake my head. Duty-free Derek. JaH, he's going to go down perhaps in the end. But this Ember Spirit just going so deep right now. Perhaps he could die, though. He's got to be careful. He's going to get orchided up. Try to get the last right click on Brax, but he's going to go down here. He's going to buy a TP. Can he get out? There's the blink call from the Axe. Are they going to be able to kill him in Fountain here? No. He's going to chains up. Is he going to go down? Maybe. Just maybe. He is going to get out here. It looks like he may. The last 1, 2, 3. No, not enough right clicks. And classic NA Dota. Good old laugh when you get out. Make sure to get your jabs at the enemy team, but a 3-for-1. Were there any buybacks there? Looks like no. So actually, yeah, a 3-for-1, but the Aegis was popped as well. And actually, no, it looks like a 2-for-3 there. So not too bad. Calamity, what a player. Duty-free Derek, what a player indeed. Gonna buy a Blink Dagger here, as we don't see that one all too often. Blink Ember Spirit, so hopefully that won't be the downfall. Radiant still not out of this game. They didn't get a Rax just yet, and with the late game potential of a Shadow Fiend, as well as the pure damage coming from this 1437 Quap. Duty-free Derek, though, looks like he's ready to go in. She's going to go blink in right in. There's the BKB. The Orchid's going to be taken off, and look at the damage from 1437. You don't even need the Sleight of Fist when you right-click that hard. He's actually going to go the wrong way. 1437, can he get out the chains? The chains, no. He's actually going to use Sleight of Fist first, unfortunately, and it is going to be the Abyssal for ixMike here, who's going to TP bot lane, start to push out the wave, and going to move into the jungle here. Going to try and limit whatever jungle potential they have, and again, whenever you can take the jungle like this and just ensure that they can't take the camps and you know they're not in the jungle, it just gives you so much information. And there's the Rubik, gonna steal. What did he grab? The Tornado here, but what's he gonna do with it? He's gonna get sheeped up from Mike, and Clouds, you're a little bit out of position, buddy. Not in the right place at the right time whatsoever. And Duty-free Derek gonna continue to go up, gonna throw up the Flame Guard. I imagine they're gonna find 1437. No, they're gonna find Yuko, and he's got to be careful here, even with all the armor he's got from Call. Look at that. He's just going to tank up all these right clicks, but it's not going to be enough here. There's the heal from the Dazzle, but the BKB being spent as well. Not going to be the best option. Brax is here, though, and he's got the ultimate. There's the ultimate. It's going to go down. The Sleight of Fist just apparently barely out of that, and can they stand under this Death Ward? It looks like no. The Axe has to be careful. Now they're going to go on JJ. He's going to turn around and cheat Brax. The ultimate from 1437 is going to ensure the kill, though. Perhaps JaH's going to go down now, getting a little bit too aggressive. There's the chop from Yuko. And a 3-for-1 when all said and done. Rubik dying quite far off himself. And what a fantastic fight from the Radiant. Brax with a beautiful ultimate there. Just barely catching Duty Free Derek at the very end of his Sleight of Fist. And without a Flame Guard on, he's just absolutely going to blow up. And can the Radiant actually potentially get Rax here? No Ember Spirit for a full minute. Invoker's going to have to buy back. They've got only a Lasso and a Vengeful Spirit here who's not going to be too effective. 1437 is going to blink in. And look at this. 3 heroes up here. Brax, he's going to be able to do so much damage to this tower. Just look at it go down. He does pick up his MKB, and just look at this. Perhaps the Dire getting a little bit too aggressive and a little bit too cocky. Buyback from the Invoker. But as long as there's no Ember Spirit, they don't have a care in the world. The swap in onto Brax. He's going to BKB. He's just going to right click, and so she's going to go down. There's the Abyssal Blade being shown off from ixMike. He's actually going to bring Brax in. Brax now, he's got to be careful, but they've already gotten the Rax here. And Abyssal Bat, there's the Cloud saying, what the heck is going on here? 1437, he's going to get his Lincoln pop. Brax is going to go down, but not before they get the melee Rax mid. And not expecting the Abyssal Blade here. Respawn on Roche in 30 seconds. So Brax is going to go down. Not up for 90 seconds. But Venge still 50 seconds before she can come up. JaH's going to be chasing onto Yuko here. But what's he going to be able to do with that? Not much. Not even if he gets a Death Ward here. And JJ, though, he's close by. Yuko's got to be careful. They should know that JJ's here now. He's going to have to BKB. He's going to have to TP if he wants to get out. And looks like no, he's just going to walk away here. And the Tornado's going to be spent. The Sheep on a Yuko, perhaps sticking around too long. JaH's still close by. He does have the stun, and look who's shown up. It's ixMike with his Boots of Travel, his Abyssal Blade, and his Sheep. This stun actually is just going to keep going. Squee, he's going to walk up to the stun. Unfortunately for him, couple laughs being thrown out. Squee's going to go down. He's going to throw out the Shallow Grave as well as the Weep, perhaps try and get a little bit of damage here on a JJ, but he's going to go down. And now 3 heroes dead from the Radiant. Duty Free Derek's going to look to push out mid and perhaps even up the Rax here as 1437 picking up an AC of all items. Clouds, though, maybe thinking they can make a go here on a Duty Free Derek. They've got the Sheep if they want it. No, actually, sorry, the Orchid. They can't do anything, though. He's still going to be able to just manta out of it. And 1437, really, I'm not sure how useful that Lincoln's has been. We did see it get popped last fight, but you can't help but wonder how much better a Sheep would have been. Are they going to buy back Brax? He is up in about 15 seconds. Can they stop this for maybe a little bit? Fortify it and perhaps survive. Maybe Duty Free Derek using the Sleight of Fist, buying them some time. Fortification is going to be used, even though Brax, when he comes up, he's going to have no souls. Buyback from the Axe here. 1437, he's going to ult the creep wave. The pure damage, though, he's going to survive. Yuko's going to blink in. Only catching the Venge, though. She may go down, but does that matter? The rest of her team's still very much alive. Brax only with 18 souls here. Nobody's going to go down, but more importantly, the Radiant's going to save the Rax, and it's going to regen right back up. And so he's got to be careful. She's still quite low here as the Dire maybe looking towards Roche. It is getting pinged out here, I believe, from the Axe, and they don't want to leave this Rax just yet. Looks like we're going to have the Calling Blade be used here. ixMike's going to blink in. There's the Lasso as well as the Sheep. The chains are going to catch Cloud. He's going to get used up, though. He's got to be careful. Duty Free Derek still not that tanky. Death Ward's going to be tossed down. JaH's invis, so they can't stop that whatsoever, but they can just walk away from it and kite it as much as they want. Couple sentries being thrown on mid, and Radiant's top tower going to be pushed in. Dire. Venge has to TP home here, and could this mean a free Roshan for the Radiant now? Once Brax gets a few more souls, he's going to be hitting even harder than he already does. And just look at the damage on Brax. He's got 2.5k gold. We'll see maybe if he wants to move into a Daedalus next. It's going to be so hard to deal with him once he's at that point. Just right click so hard. And Ember Spirit doesn't really go into late game as well as this Venge or this Quap do. And Quap with an AC. Wouldn't see that. Smoke's going to be used. Courier's still following Brax, though. So maybe they'll see him pick up something. And it looks like no. Tornado's going to be used, but they've got to be careful. They're close to Roshan here. They're invis. No, unfortunately, they don't catch them. The invis Duty Free Derek's going to pop the smoke. And look at this. Brax is close by. Maybe they're going to turn around. Invoker does only have Alacrity. No Tornado EMP for him just yet. ixMike, though, they do catch him. They're going to throw out a couple abilities, and they're just going to move into Roshan. Very comfortable at taking this. They're going to get dewarded instantly, and now they've got to be careful. Turn around, though. Yuko going to catch an illusion here. There's the Sheepstick on the Brax, but a wasted Sheepstick by ixMike. Still has the Abyssal Blade if he wants to spend it. A lot of dancing around the Roche Pit. JJ does actually have Meteor, Deafening Blast, which isn't going to hit anything. So there's 2 wasted abilities that are going to be key in the next fight that he's not going to have. And the Radiant's just going to continue to right-click down. They're going to catch 2 with the Tornado. ixMike still close by. Meanwhile, in the back here, Venge still close by. Is he going to get called? No. Yuko, he's going to miss the call. He's going to get the second call with the 4-step, though. A blink in here from ixMike. They're going to bring Brax to the high ground. There's the Sheep. He doesn't have time to BKB. He's going to go down. Just barely going to be able to stay alive for another couple seconds. They are going to get ixMike potentially here. The Sunstrike gonna go down. He's gonna use and dodge the Sunstrike. He's not gonna live. He's gonna BKB. Brax is still alive. He's on 40 HP. Are you kidding me right now? Yuko's gonna turn around. He's gonna get the call on JJ. JaH, he's got his own ward. Actually, no, that's Clouds who stole Death Ward there. He's gonna get shallow graved, and I can't believe Brax got out here. The Dire actually lost this fight right now. Brax, he's still alive. He's still gonna go and right click JaH. JaH's gotta be careful. Duty Free Derek's back in the fight. Meanwhile, top lane 1437 along with Yuko, they're gonna get a kill, but Duty Free Derek's back. He's gonna kill Yuko on the axe. Brax is still chasing, looking for JaH. His invis is gonna run out soon. Meanwhile, Duty Free Derek's coming back in. There's the stun from the Witch Doctor. Maybe they can kill the Brax. The Yule Scepter up though. Duty Free Derek's still fighting. They're gonna throw the Orchid out on the JaH. He's gonna use the Ghost Scepter and stay alive. Clouds is low, but look at that. He may survive as well. Brax, he's gonna go down finally. 1437 is gonna continue to right click Duty Free Derek. Squeeze still in the fights. He's used so many shallow graves to keep his team alive. Duty Free Derek's gonna go down. And oh my god, what a team fight. 1437, he's gonna be wicked sick. And that's 4 heroes for 3. I can't believe how long that team fight went. Were there any buybacks? No. But what a fantastic fight. Radiant really dragging that out. Squee, I can't believe they kept Brax alive up on the cliff there. Just barely surviving the Yule Scepter, dodging the Sunstrike. Are they going to get Roche here? 1437 should be able to stay alive long enough here. They're going to throw out the Orchid onto Roche. The AC really going to be doing a lot of work. They're going to have a Cheese and an Aegis here. So Cheese going to be on Squee. Aegis going to be on 1437. And actually Squee's going to pick up both. Oh my gosh. 6.8k on this 1437 Quap here, and they did end up losing their mid-range racks as well on the side of the Dire. So is Radiant actually going to come back here? Look at this graph right now. About a 12k lead that Shadow Fiend, excuse me, Stay Free on the side of the Dire had. It's going to be evened out to about 1k in favor of the Summoner's Rift stack. The Radiant here with about 1k and 10k EXP. Wow, the 10k mark. After dropping down, it was at about the 30k mark, I believe. Radiant just really mounting a fantastic comeback here. That fight was just nothing short of amazing. The Death Ward being stolen here by Clouds, and I can't believe they may actually come back in this game. Level 3 Dagon Rubik, and he's still able to steal a Death Ward from JaH. Wow. I can't believe how that team fight went down. Amazing play from Brax and his team there, surviving just long enough to get the BKB and walk out there. He got an Urn Charge, and then he just turned around and he started to right-click JaH. JaH had to use the Shadow Blade. He started running back towards mid, but a nice re-goose though. Duty Free Derek coming back in did help ensure that he got a couple of heroes killed. And it looks like a smoke up from the Dire. He is going to use his Manta, and they should know. No pings just yet. Dire going to be moving towards Roshan in the jungle here. Do have, wow, look at this, 1437. He's going to be picking up what I imagine would be a heart. Could be a satanic, but either item, he's going to be so hard to bring down. And the longer he can survive in a fight, the longer he can, actually, he doesn't have eggs though, so he's not going to have the really low cooldown on his ultimate. But the longer, even his right-click damage is nothing to scoff at here, especially alongside Brax with the presence of the Dark Lord, the negative armor, and the weave is just going to be so much damage if they can survive long enough in these team fights. And Duty Free Derek with the Blink Dagger, a little bit of a cocky item choice. Not really sure what that's going to help, as you've already got your spirits here. And look at this, 1437. Perhaps could be moving up to Duty Free Derek. I'm surprised he isn't going to go for the sheep, and it's actually satanic there. That's going to be the item choice. And look at this, 4 heroes smoked up from the Radiant. They're pointing at the jungle. They could catch Insoi and Duty Free Derek out. This could be a disaster for the Dire. There's the blink. They're going to catch Insoi. Duty Free Derek's going to turn around. He's going to throw out the chains. And Soi's dead. The Kyle's going to miss, but it doesn't matter. He's still going to go down. Tornado's going to land on 2 heroes. No, just 1. Rubik just barely skirting that one. And the Radiant, they're going to continue to push. They're just going mid. Are they just going to look to end the game here? Not even going to go for another Rax. Maybe. Both top and bot are both pushed. And look at that. They're just looking to end the game right now. They know they've got the negative armor. They've got the Aegis. They've got the cheese on who? Is it on this? Who is it on? Still have the cheese on somebody. But it looks like Yuko's going to blink in. Not going to get a call on anybody just yet. Meanwhile, Duty Free Derek, 1437 is going to blink in. He's going to BKB. He's going to go on ixMike. If they can get rid of ixMike, that's going to be a lot of the team fight control. There's the stun from JaH, still holding on to the Death Ward. BKB from the Invoker. Meanwhile, Brax, he's going to start right-clicking a few heroes as well as the tower bot. Looks like perhaps 1437 in a bit of trouble here. He's going to get sheeped up and right-clicked. He's still so tanky. Has the Satanic if he wants to use it. There's the blinking from Mike. He's going to get lifted. A beautiful lift. There's the Death Ward being thrown down. Full duration. No, he's going to get the call on Axe. A beautiful call right there. Do we have a steal yet from the Rubik? No. No steal just yet. Sunstrike's going to land. It's not going to hit anybody. Brax just barely on the edge of that one. Meanwhile, Ember Spirit, he's going to turn around. He's going to go in on Squee in 1437. Squee's going to survive. Brax is perhaps going to be able to live long enough here. Yuko doing so much damage to JJ. Meanwhile, in the back, Quap's going to go down to Ember Spirit. The Aegis is going to be popped onto Squee. Meanwhile, a huge ultimate from the Shadow Fiend. And by ultimate, I mean he's actually going to go down. Duty Free Derek with the damage. Are they going to be able to turn around? Duty Free Derek's going to get cloud. Squee perhaps getting a little bit too aggressive. He's going to go down. He's going to throw out the Shallow Grave, but it doesn't matter. That's a dead Squee. And a 5-for-0 trade. Getting a little bit too cocky. The Aegis onto Squee, not the best option there. As 1437 just blowing up in the back. He couldn't be aggressive. Despite having the Satanic, he had to spend it on a couple creeps. And let's see. Invoker's actually going to buy Boots of Travel here. Are they going to just go mid and try to end it themselves? We are going to see the smoke being picked up here by Clouds, who didn't really do much that fight. Couldn't really get a nice seal off. Mike, he's going to start pushing bot lane. And can they get 2 sets of racks here? JJ is going to be with them as well. Going to be throwing out the Forge Spirits here. They just push so fast. Mike, again, just right-clicking so hard. Duty Free Derek mid. This is going to be 2 sets of racks, I imagine. They don't have a buyback on the Axe, only on the Shadow Fiend and the Quap here. Are they just going to sack these 2 sets of racks and look to end the game later on here? 53 minutes in, and we're at 105 kills, so very eventful game. 64-41 in favor of the Dire. Radiant was coming back for a little bit there, but after that Roshan attempt and giving the Aegis to the Dazzle, they still have Cheese, I believe. Do they have a Cheese? Who had the Cheese in that fight? I didn't even notice, but this is going to be 2 sets of racks for the Dire, and Radiant's going to be put in a very tough position. Still not out of it yet again. But they've got to be very conscious with how they take a fight here. Dire playing so safe right now. Look at this. An aggressive TP in from Yuko. There's the ult onto 1437. He's got to be careful. They're also going to use the Abyssal. He's got so much HP though. It looks like perhaps Mike is going too far and the rest of his team's just going to leave him. He's going to go down. There's the call from the Axe. He's building into a Shiva's guard here as Brax. Does he have enough souls? Yeah. Getting his souls now, and Duty Free Derek perhaps keeping an eye on Roshi here. Still has another couple minutes before he's up for sure. As Axe with that TP in, I'm surprised they weren't a little more careful there. And look at this, Radiant just going to be pushing him in. Perhaps they're again just going to try and end it here. They don't know if Mike has buyback, although he does. So maybe this could be their fatal flaw here. As we're going to have a gem picked up from Duty Free Derek, who, again, he's got 3.1k. Just get rid of that blink and buy a crit. I can't imagine how helpful that blink has been all game. We're actually going to have a smoke. Are they going to smoke and wait around top, or just run past the creeps? Brax is going to pop the smoke, and they're going to know. They're going to say, guys, what's the point of the smoke? Maybe just to keep some of their heroes out of the vision. And what do we have? We've got a Lincoln's here. Owned by who? We don't know. Unfortunately, it looks like they're just going to pressure mid-tower. ixMike is going to buy back. There's the Fortify being used. Lincoln's is actually Brax's here as Duty Free Derek. Maybe they're just going to get a free buyback here. Mike, can he continue to go? Is the Tornado going to hit anybody? Actually, he's going to catch Squee. There's the Sheep Stick. The Chains is going to hit 2 heroes. Brax isn't going to spend the BKB. Not yet. There's the ult from the Quap as well as the Death Ward. Beautiful positioning. Clouds is going to have to get shallow graved here. Mike, on the other hand, he's going to go down in the back to Axe. Are they going to be able to actually close out this game? There's the swap out onto JaH. He's going to barely survive. Ember Spirit's just right-clicking for all as he can. A nice deafening blast as well as a meteor from the Invoker here. But Brax, he's still very much alive. A buyback from the Invoker who's going to end up going down to Brax here. Meanwhile, Shadow Fiend is going to use himself up. Dodge the EMP as well as the Tornado here. There's another heal. We do have Shallow Grave again on cooldown. So they've got another Shallow Grave. If they want to use it, the Chain's going to go down here. A nice little stun steal from this Clouds. And look at this. They're going to go right back in onto the Invoker. He just bought back. He's invis. There's the call from the Axe. They're going to catch him. They're going to continue to go. Brax just right-clicking for all that he can. Meanwhile, Invoker's going to go down here in 120 seconds without an Invoker. 67 seconds without Mike. is Clouds. Is he going to be able to get a kill with the rest of his team on Duty Free Derek? Duty Free Derek's going to go down. He's got a buyback. There it is. Buyback going to be used. Meanwhile, Vengeful Spirit, she's up on the front lines as well, trying for all she can. Duty Free Derek's going to go on the axe. Perhaps he's going to BKB. Maybe he's going to survive. There's the Force Staff out. Is he going to live? They've got the Shallow Grave. The Shallow Grave is going to be sent. Meanwhile, they're just right-clicking the Ancient. It doesn't matter. The game's over. The Radiant. Brax, 1437. They're actually going to continue, and they're just going to hit the Ancient. They're going to win the game. So what a fantastic game from the Radiant. Very back and forth at the end there. After that Roshan fight, it looked like perhaps the Radiant threw. They lost 2 sets of racks, but a nice fight at the end there. They didn't even need the Aegis to win that one, so it's surprising that they lost the original fight. And a 56-minute game. Summoner's Rift stack is going to take it, and wow, what a game. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this game. Please stay tuned at the end of this video. You can learn a little bit more information about my other series, and thanks again for watching. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to check out some of my other videos. I have my series from lane to lane where I just cast some everyday pubs that you guys send me. I also do some more professional pubs like games from Koikva, Miracle, whoever I can get my hands on from Dodobuff. I have a learning series as well, so feel free to check that out. There's some more info in the description as well as some videos linked in the annotations at the end here. Thanks a lot.